Kind of upset that that gives you guys like a delayed reaction to mine.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
What's going on, nerds? And we're talking about The Hobbit 2, and the name of Hobbit 2 is something with Smog, Desolation of Smaug.
The Desolation of Smaug.
So I was kind of right. But, you know, as I'm going to throw it over to the experts, because I've only seen the movie once, I'm going to throw it over to... I can be every once in a while. Like I was yesterday, pitching an idea to a friend of mine, and then they ran with it, and I'm happy they ran with it. But let's start talking about The Hobbit, the Desolation of Smaug. So, Susie made, once again, wonderful questions that I actually read through this time. So, ha!
I'm so proud of you!
I'm renaming the movie. It's now called The Desolation of Senpai.
I have so many questions, but I don't want them answered because you will probably kill me with those answers.
Bilbo.
Saggy
He's not
Bilbo?
answering. Did he leave?
Huh?
Did he leave?
Ethan. No, Bilbo Swaggins is here.
Bilbo Swaggins!
What?
I need you to stab.
Who am I stabbing?
The
Probably
one who...
Me, because I called the movie The Desolation of Senpai.
You call it what?
No, he's got the pen!
So before we get into the questions Susie made, you've heard her talk already. That's Susie, my wonderful co-host. Say hi.
Hi.
All right, that's all you're getting out of her until she starts reading questions. Once again, our Hobbit aficionado, Mr. Beardo over there. Rob, what's going on, Dwarf Fortress?
Hello.
And as you see in the opposite corner that I'm in, it's the one, the only Bilbo Swaggins. It's Ethan. How are you doing? I mean, Will. What's going on, Will?
I was like, wait a minute, where's the camera?
Hi.
So this is our second movie in our Lord of the Rings series, but we're kind of tackling the Hobbit trilogy first, so we're going in chronological order. So if you're clicking on this and haven't heard our first episode, go back and listen to our Hobbit and Unexpected Journey, I think it's what it's called.
Ah, you did it twice. You got it correct twice in a row.
I am so proud of you.
But let's start talking about this movie, The Desolation of Smaug.
Desolation of Smaug.
Yes, that is the movie.
So for our first question, what were your thoughts on the initial meeting of Gandalf and Thorin?
Messed me completely up because I was like, but they know each other. What the fuck is going on? And then you get the cut.
Flashback. There's no true like understanding that that's a flashback until it says 12 months later.
So I'm like, are they just playing for the people in the pub? Because Thorin's like looking both ways and like, I'm about to die. And then Gandalf comes out of nowhere and boom, just sits down. I will have what he's having. And they start talking about the journey that they're going to go on. I'm like, there's no way that this is happening right now. Unless they're recruiting more people, there's no way this is happening right now.
Well, no, it's the first time he met Gandalf, so.
Yeah, but I wasn't aware of that until the 12 months later. I was like, are they just playing for the people in the pub?
In my
the
brain,
scene, he introduces himself as Gandalf the Grey.
I understand that.
Okay.
But were they just playing for the people in the pub? Like
No.
the idea that they're just meeting.
Oh, okay. I got you now. I got it now. Now I understand.
Okay. All right. Just I had a no brain there for a moment. You kind of had a brain, and then I had a brain, then you forgot your brain. It's like duck season, rabbit season.
I knew exactly what it was the moment I saw the Inn of the Prancing Pony.
Mhm.
And Bree itself, because Bree is right outside of Hobbiton. For them to
Of the
be there,
Shire.
it would have had to have been in the past.
Yeah, but you've read the material, correct?
I'm looking at the book right now.
Okay, looking at the book and reading the material, two different things.
Yes, I've read it in 7th grade. I haven't read it since. I love The Lord of the Rings better.
I mean, I've looked at the Bible too, but I still have no clue what the hell's inside of it.
A lot
I
of
only like
stuff.
one book of the Bible, so
Yeah, my eyes start to burn. I hope nobody in my family listens to this episode. Will, hey, save me, pal.
What do you think of it?
Okay, so the first page of the Bible says, "Hi, I am God. Please love me."
Do I have to get my Bible?
No, sit the fuck back down. Yo, Beardy
Okay.
Locks, get back down.
beardy locks.
It's the first thing that popped into my head. Will, please continue talking and do not allow him to speak the minute he sits back down.
Okay, in real talksies.
Why is your name Swaggy Bilbo?
Because I was Bilbo Swaggins last week.
We are having
DJ
way too
Swag
much fun.
Bilbo.
Have you seen Rob's name?
Anywho, I actually was like, when I saw this, I was like, oh no, Gandalf, you're pulling a Dumbledore.
Well, yeah,
You're
but he's
dragging
the better
people into
Dumbledore.
shit.
Dumbledore said calmly.
Yeah,
Or
Dumbledore
Gandalf
was like,
said
hey, go
calmly.
on this adventure. Okay, okay, Gandalf.
Joke's on you.
I'll trust you completely.
All we need is a burglar.
All we need
A
is
burglar.
a burglar.
A burglar.
A burglar.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun to say burglar. I don't know why. Anyway,
If anybody in
The first-
Great
so-
Britain
so
or
for
England
the,
listens to
the
this
first-
episode, I apologize for our horrible accents that we're doing. You guys can do very much more better.
hey AJ, your
Yes?
eyes are about to burn because Rob has pulled out the Bible.
Ow. Well, I'm already blind, so
Does the first page say, hi, I'm God, please love me?
no. It's hi,
No, it
I'm
says,
Gandalf.
in a
Please
hole
love
in the
me.
ground there lived a hobbit. Hi,
It
Susie.
really does.
So for the people that are listening to this audio, Susie has a background that is literally Bilbo's. Would you stop caressing your nipples, Rob?
With the books, you have to say that because then we have the only people with the audio.
Well,
They don't know what I'm caressing my nipples with. They have to know.
Well, you told them the books.
Context.
So Susie's our resident Hobbit,
Has two books like pressed to his nips.
and Will's explaining it to
Prettiest
third
Hobbit that
party.
you ever will see.
This is a live audiobook reading of The Desolation of Smaug.
I have to find the pen.
No, Rob, we don't need.
There's a burglar.
On the doorstep. Set information.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ethan.
He's a vocal performance. Oh, you rolled a 16. That's good.
Okay, so let's move to the next question while Rob finds his favorite line in the damn book.
Oh my god, I just died. What were your thoughts on the shapeshifter? And I understand that he's not really a shapeshifter, but like, bear with me here.
I thought it was completely funny. The way they addressed it and them running from it. Well, where we're going, we're either going to live or die.
We're either going to get refuge or we're going to be torn to bits.
Love it.
It's
Roll
literally,
for death saves.
it's literally. All right, let's go to Susie's. Well, we're either going to live or die.
I vote die.
Okay.
No.
No.
Damn it.
Well, what do you think of the shapeshifter?
I'm gonna rewind back a little bit because like I feel like we should address for 2 seconds how it starts when we flash back into it, where Bilbo's like staring at the shapeshifter and he's like, it's a fucking bear, but like 3 times as large. And like Gandalf has like the oh shit face.
Gandalf has the oh shit face a lot.
I love Gandalf's oh shit face because his eyes just go.
He's like, oh fuck. So
There we
what
go.
did I do? Yeah, what did I do? What did I do?
Does the whole Shrek thing. Now here's the part where you run away.
We're in this part of the book.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, Rob. The book is divided into 3/3.
No, it is not.
It is most definitely not.
So Rob, thoughts on the shapeshifter?
There's a 3/3.
I loved how they portrayed him, like the hairy back, the freaking beard, and I love that the shape shifting actually messes him up a little.
Yeah.
What, especially the conversation that they have with him when he shifts back to a human.
Yeah,
Oh.
I love how, because you think Lord of the Rings, oh, this isn't going to be like that dark, is it? And no, here's the last of his race living in just alone in the woods.
And where you guys are going, you're all gonna end up dead. Pretty much what he tells everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't want to answer this next question, just for the first part of the next question. No.
First part of the next question.
No.
Oh, okay. So AJ, because you're the only one who hasn't seen the movie before, and you got to see it this for the first time.
It's a lot of Aragogs.
Huh?
That's a lot of Aragogs.
Yes, it was. But what was your thought on the forest initially?
Well, if you're gonna get lost, that would be the place to do it. If there are gonna be a lot of creepy creatures, that would be the place to have them. Yeah, no, I would have stayed. I would have probably allowed myself to get eaten, so I didn't have to deal with that shit.
That seems reasonable.
I don't like spiders, and I'm good with direction, but that was a dense fucking forest. And granted, the way they figured out how to get out of the forest was pretty cool. Let's just throw the Hobbit up in the trees.
Huh?
There's a river that way. Oh, that way.
Well, no, they didn't throw him up the tree. Bilbo climbed them on his own prerogative because he was like, he couldn't get through to anybody because they were all just going fucking mental.
Yeah, but those spiders and then no, they just turn everybody into feeding capsules. And
Yes.
what I think Bilbo puts on the ring.
Yep.
Mhm.
And now you get the first feel of the ring.
Yeah, then he goes full Samurai Jack and kills them all.
I wouldn't say Samurai Jack, but yeah.
I mean,
The
when
point is
Samurai
there.
Jack goes Samurai Jack, he does it all screamy and swingy, so close enough.
Hey, be happy I pulled that analogy out of my ass.
That was actually pretty impressive.
All right, who wants to take the next step at like batter up? What are your thoughts on the forest, spiders, losing the path, and Bilbo using the ring to kick some major donkey dick?
I love Mirkwood in this. The twisting branches going over the path, deliberately trying to make them lost, and then having to tap on the ground to locate the flagstones because it's so overgrown.
I love that shot where there's the group of dwarves, as one's on one path, the other one's on the other path, and they're all going
Oh yeah, the spiral.
Yeah, like doing the loop-de-loop and pull.
Yeah.
Will, give us your 2 cents on the forest. As Susie tries not to sneeze.
Like spiders.
You say you like spiders?
Yes, spiders are cool, man.
There's a reason why he has to kill them when they enter the bathroom.
But if he likes them, he doesn't kill them.
Oh no, I kill them.
He does if he knows what's good for him.
No, he just puts it in your bed. Why do I
Thank
feel
you.
like why do I feel like Will's gonna die just for me saying that?
I'm a buff baby who can dance like a man. You can kill all the spiders, but I'm gonna get eat.
I don't know.
Have you had like any sort of caffeine today? Because it's definitely
A
showing.
lot.
Okay, it's probably
No,
a
no,
huge
I
G
actually
fuel
am
in
fine.
there. But
No,
Susie,
drinking
what?
Baja Blast and Taco Bell.
Who the fuck went to top bitches? Susie, what are your thoughts on the forest?
See, I love the forest. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite sections of the movie because it's like, so when we were watching it the other night, one of my favorite parts of the forest is when they're looking for the path and the camera zooms in on the path. Like it shows you how warped this forest is that it messes with your mind. They thought they were on the path the whole time and then they lost it.
I love the part where Bilbo's walking forward, looks back, sees himself.
Yeah.
Just shows you how trippy the forest is.
Also,
Mhm.
I love, I forget Bilbo's actor's name.
Martin Freeman? No.
I've got Google.
Anyway.
Keep talking and I'll butt in.
I love his ability to act with his hands. Because when he finally gets the ring in his hands after he loses it to the falling from the spider
Martin
area,
Freeman.
It was
Yeah,
close.
Martin Freeman, the way he just fiddles with it,
Mhm.
but in a way where you always see the ring and just how jerky his hand motions are.
It kind of reminds me of Two-Face, how he does the coin.
Yeah.
Oh,
how he
yeah.
plays with the coin.
And he also gets that perfect Englishman motion with his hands. Yes, this is it's kind of like talking like an Italian, talk with your hands. He's very good at doing that.
I've grown up being good at doing it. Teehee. Teehee. Susie, next question.
Thoughts on Thranduil and his band of elms, specifically what your thoughts on the realm are, his attitude, and the cells that they put the dwarves into.
Grundle's a bitch.
Grundle's great.
Well, we have one for a bitch and one for great. Rob?
I think Thranduil is an arrogant king, but one that seemingly has earned his arrogance.
Well, yeah, you see his face.
He
pulls
he
off
has
the
his
facade for a
scars.
second.
He has his scars. He shows you the worst ways immortality can affect you.
Mhm.
He is set in his ways. He takes an extremely long view on events to the detriment of the now. And most importantly, he clearly in the past has gone through a lot of bad stuff. He's clearly fought dragons before, but he takes little to any consideration for those beneath his station.
Do you think everything he's gone through has kind of sculpted his mindset and attitude?
Absolutely. He has been a king for, we can assume, 1,000 or more years. He's probably as old as Elrond.
Oh, shit.
So,
Yeah, but Ronan the Accuser looks better than Elrond it does.
yeah.
Sorry, I just put everybody in the Marvel Cinematic Universe on who they play because it's easier for my brain to comprehend who it is because I don't really know their names. I've only seen the movies once so far. But yeah, I'm right there with you. And it looks like Will was kind of bobbing his head yes too. Yeah, I thought the whole realm I thought the realm was cool. I love their like hideout area, their castle, and I thought it was pretty dope. But yeah, you're right. He's a dick and a half, but he's kind of earned his dick and a half just for that sounded weird.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, he's earned his dicking. But I can hear Will. But it still honestly doesn't give him the right to treat, everybody else like shit just because he's seen some things, but you kind of understand it.
Yeah, and the bad part of having the very long term vision
Mhm.
is you lose sight of the short term. So consider the time where he sent away the refugees of the dwarves.
Yeah.
When he could have easily taken them in. He clearly had enough. His land was bountiful and full. He could have taken them in. He could have, I mean, the elves desired at times dwarven craft because it
Yep.
was exceptionally sturdy and long lasting. Those bars were not made by elves in that prison.
Can we just talk about how Bilbo puts on that ring and just my keys, and just
And it's another sign of their arrogance because Bilbo was able to walk through, and they just never contemplated someone being there and not being able to see them, because they at times hear him,
yeah.
but they don't think there's someone there. They look, they don't see anything, and because their ears are so perfect, they don't contemplate that someone's actually there.
Okay, I don't see it in any of the questions, so I'm gonna ask it here. What do you guys think of the escape plan?
escape plan is
I
in
loved
here.
it.
Is it? Where?
It is.
Yeah, it's after
Two
How Do You Like
questions
Bored?
down.
How do you like who?
How Do You Like
Oh.
Bars? Right after that one.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna shut up now. Teehee.
I was gonna say I tried to cover everything.
I
Yeah,
just
because right after they get imprisoned, we jump cut to Gandalf.
my bad. Don't shoot. Fine, I'll take a drink because I fucked up. You don't have to, twist my arm. See, I took a drink. Susie, take over because apparently I'm doing bad job.
Okay, so what are your
You're
thoughts
doing
on
fine.
Gandalf visiting the king's tomb? What did you think of the king's tomb?
Oh no. Is that where he gets ambushed by the orcs?
No,
that's where he's
So
climbing
that's-
up the mountain with like those slabs punched
So-
into the side.
Oh, that was crazy as fuck, and that reminded me of Harry Potter. Not 6. Is it? Actually, it might be 6, where they go look for the what's it called? The thing that holds Voldemort's a Horcrux in that.
Horcrux
Yeah, in that tomb
Yeah,
thing. It kind of reminded me of that.
is in 6.
Yeah. I love the design of the King's Tomb. It looked ominous even before you got inside of it.
I jumped when the jump scare happened. I flew out of my freaking chair.
Wait, did you really?
Yeah, with Radagast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is not a nice place.
I thought I broke Will's chair, the folding chair.
I didn't realize you jumped. I definitely was not paying attention.
Well, the
to you then.
TV's here, and I'm the last person in view of the TV. So unless you guys were looking at me, you weren't going to see me jump,
Oh, true.
which I'm
Right, well, we
kind of
have-
happy about.
We haven't seen the contents of it yet. What do you think about what was in there that has clearly gotten out of there?
Whatever it was, it must have been something important.
Remember how AJ we were telling you about the sword that Gandalf was presented
Yes.
at the table with the elves? That's what got out. One of the kings got out.
Okay. Was that the? Didn't somebody fight that king and they ended up dropping it, like the king's
Radagast
ghost?
fought the king and brought the sword to Galadriel.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to put 2 and 2 together.
No, that's fine. That's why I was reminding you.
Ooh, that
And
last
weren't
drink was
all the
potent.
cells open?
Yes.
I think they
all the
were.
cells were open.
So now there's 8 others of those things out there.
Oh no. Which we'll get to on our next week's episode.
Yes. Yes, we will.
But where do we want to go from here?
Escape from the Elf Manor.
Dun dun dun.
So I didn't like the escape from the elves. I didn't really put in here because I felt like I covered it with the thoughts on the river rapids
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
and the orcs attacking, and that whole sequence and what your thoughts about it were. And I'd like AJ to go first because he didn't get to watch this, and I know this is one of Rob's favorite scenes.
What do you mean I didn't get to watch it?
This is your first time watching it.
Oh, the River Rapids scene?
Yeah.
I liked how Bilbo's like, everybody get in the bins, get in the barrels, and pulls the plunger, and they all go right out. And that, it's not really a fight scene, but they're literally just swimming down the river in those barrels as the elves are fighting the orcs. Somebody gets shot in the leg with a poison apple, and all I pictured was Skyrim. I could have done anything till I took an arrow to the knee. But I thought it was cool. Evangeline Lilly's character, you could really start seeing turning towards the dwarf side, especially Rob, that name again?
Killy,
Him.
or is it Philly?
It was Killy.
Killy.
No, Philly's in
Philly.
Pennsylvania.
No, it's Killy and Philly.
Oh, they're at the shit. I'm sorry.
They're actually both in the movie. There's Killy and Philly and their brothers.
But I like the escape plan because it shows how resourceful Bilbo is, number one. And number two, they're getting shot at. The orcs are getting shot at. The orcs are shooting at the dwarves and the elves. And it's just all chaos on this as the dwarves are trying to exit the elf kingdom. Anybody else? Rob, why do you like
Yeah.
it so much?
I love it so much. One, because I always forget the fat dwarf's name. I think it's Bofer.
Yeah, Bofer.
Bofer.
Yeah, Gopher.
I love his but just like when he pops out of the river accidentally and he just starts just like balling through all these orcs. And when he finally comes to a rest, his arms just pop out and he's a dervish of death.
So I saw that, and I know it would take us completely out of the universe, but if we heard a bowling ball crash like a strike hit, I would have laughed my ass off. But I knew it would have taken us out of the universe, and it would have been good for the movie. But I laugh at those kind of stupid things.
And I love the running battle of it. Just
Start to
them
finish.
Yeah, trying to survive, going through crossfire from elves fighting orcs and orcs trying to kill them.
Yeah.
And I just love Legolas standing on two dwarf heads shooting people.
Oh, that was.
Also, AJ, what do you think of Legolas?
It's kind of out of place. Kind of looks like a pirate, but not a pirate. No, I thought he was a good character. For the little bit you see of him in this movie, when he's talking to Evangeline Lilly's character, and then his conversation with the king elf, I can't think of his name. Rendwyl. Their battle back and forth while they're looking to execute the orc or not. And then you get Legolas's. I thought he had a lot of character development, and I really ended up liking Orlando Bloom's character because, he's thought how everybody else thinks. And you see how towards the end of the movie, it's slightly changing, even so slightly.
Granted, he had a nickname in this movie,
Oh, yeah?
and that was Old Lando Bloom.
Yep. I was waiting for the chuckle.
Because this was, because we're starting with the prequels, the actors are still older than they were in the base trilogy. So I think he's like 10, 20 years older.
Yeah, but he doesn't look he really doesn't look that bad.
You
Makeup.
sometimes see the lines on his face where they didn't quite get enough makeup on.
Yeah.
Makeup and cameras do a hell of a job. Editing. Hell, editing will make me look pretty.
I mean, there's a lot of things that would make you look pretty.
Wow.
So when are we gonna get that OnlyFans?
But he said,
I was talking to AJ.
I know, I was agreeing with you.
I need
Sorry.
the only hands, man. The
I
only
needed a
hands!
drink after that one. Oh, look, Rob's setting it up right now.
Oh God.
What does Rob do? I just take pictures of my feet. I've been a millionaire for about 3 days now.
It's the Italian blood. It makes him hairy.
Oh my god.
Okay. This
Fucking
is
got that
way
dwarf
off
blood in me.
base.
Okay. Before we go further into the deep end, Susie, what are your thoughts about the barrels? And then we'll go to Will.
So I love the barrels, especially how Bilbo ends up in a barrel. Because he forgot to put himself in a barrel, like dive bomb for a barrel as he's pulling the lever.
What's
Pull the
more,
lever,
that
Crunk.
hand acting. He's just like, oh, just
Yeah.
oh.
Finally figures out how to get down there and is like flatboarding all the way down.
Yeah, just slides.
But I
I,
think
I love he was completely flat too.
yeah. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
how like AJ was saying earlier that this is not really a fight scene, but this is my favorite fight. In this movie, this is my favorite
I mean,
fight.
it's kind of a fight.
It is crossed so many different variables. You have elves standing on the dwarves. You have arrows flying everywhere. The dwarves who do not have weapons are taking them from the orcs to kill orcs. Like
It
it
also
is
proves my-
beautifully, masterfully choreographed and awesome. And that is like my favorite beyond measure.
And also
They couldn't
proves
do
my
it twice.
point. No matter where you stand, a dwarf is always the most solid ground, even if they're in a river.
Facts.
Will, what are your thoughts on it before we continue to the next question?
I think the escape was a really good way to kind of show off the elves to a good extent. Because you didn't have Sorry,
Well,
Brian's doing a stupid.
Oh, what Pokemon are you trying to catch?
Not really trying to catch anything. Because it showed off the elves a lot in that fight rather than the dwarves fighting. It was the dwarves were literally just trying to like duck in their barrels because they really couldn't do anything from rolling rapids in the water, but it like you had a really good chance to see the elves in action.
Mm. And I really liked the archers, and I thought the elves were pretty badass compared to, you know, how badass the dwarves are. Mostly because in our Ruby D&D that we did a while back, I was an archer and I'm like, fuck you bitch, sneak attack motherfucker. All right, Susie, where do you want to go from here?
Back to my bed to cry.
What the fuck? Why?
I'll tell you later.
Oh God.
What did you think of Bard?
That's
And the-
that's Luke Evans, right?
Yes, that's Gaston.
Okay. I loved his
It was really
character.
glad this whole movie we were doing Disney characters for AJ.
It works. It lets me figure out who's who. Because if you say, well, I knew who Legolas was because who was Legolas in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Who did Tony Stark call him that?
That
What-
would be Hawkeye.
Oh, it was
Uncle
Hawkeye.
Legolas.
Okay. No, but it's easy for me to remember who's who. Like Magneto, Red Skull. Yeah, they're all in here. I like Luke Evans' character. He's a good guy, like a really good guy that's getting screwed over by the second in command of the town.
And the
Because
first man in the town.
Yeah, in the mayor or whatever. He's a family man and will try to do his best to buy people, it looks like. And you see that through this movie and our next movie. Um, Will, what's your thought about the Bard?
Oh, Bard is honestly Bard's favorite character, 100%.
Really?
No contest.
Can you elaborate on why is that?
He's because like no matter what kind of shitty situation he's in, and even when he's like trying to help, when he's helping the company get into Lake Town, he's still trying to help the people.
Yes.
Like with the mission stuff, he's like would the people really appreciate watching you and the master dump all this fucking fish into the sea? And it's like,
Oh yeah, that pissed me off in the whole movie.
well, yeah, it's supposed to piss you off. The master's a fuckhead.
Yeah.
Oh, hail the one true king of Dale.
I like how he goes out. Rob, talk about Bard.
I really like Bard. They set him up perfectly for the next movie. Because the first time you see him, he has bow in hand. He knocks out 3 weapons from the dwarf hands, or 2, with like snapshot precision.
Yep.
And he showed himself to be a man of the people, like Will said, and they do establish that he was the son of the King of Dale, or the grandson, I think. Son or grandson. But he is.
They just say ancestor. I don't think it's ever fully confirmed.
Yeah, it's his ancestor.
He is of technical royal blood of Dale, and that's another reason why the master and his cronies don't like him. Because one, if you notice, he has the most well put together house after the master, after anyone else. So clearly, he managed to keep some of his family's wealth.
Yeah, Susie, your thoughts on Luke Evans and his portrayal of the Bod?
Yeah, I like Luke Evans in most of the things he does. So I was super excited to see him in this role. And I didn't even realize it was him until long after I had watched the movie.
You know, I was kind of expecting him to start breaking out in song. Like whether it's the song called Gaston or Kill the Beast. I don't know why. There were a couple moments I was like, I'm waiting for it.
Holy shit, he really is the live action Gaston.
Will, I'm concerned about you on so many levels right now.
Bet you're all fucking with me.
Your wife is telling you it was the live action Gaston. I don't fuck around with shit like that.
No, she fucks around with other shit. Like you.
You're so proud of yourself for that one. Take a drink.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, that was the rest of it. Next question.
You're not supposed to kill yourself, AJ.
No, I just looked it up because I wanted to see if Bard actually had lines in the book. Only the dwarves have songs in Lake Town.
Oh, that's
I was
sad.
joking. I wasn't expecting him to actually have a song.
There are songs all throughout The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings.
So
right, they only put a handful of them into the movies.
Yeah, the ones we saw in the first movie, those are the lion's share.
So, Rob, I don't know if you ever listened to the audiobook of any of the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit books. Have you?
No, none of the audiobooks.
Well, I know Susie doesn't really like audiobooks, but they do sing in the audiobooks.
Yes,
They do sing it. And it is actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, that I did know.
I started it a couple days ago. Like I'll do a couple hours while I'm at work, just listening to it when I'm in the middle of nowhere and don't have any cell service and I can't do anything else. Yeah, it's actually really good. That song that they sing in the first movie around the campfire is is on a playlist on my YouTube now.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
really
the
good.
mountain.
Yeah.
The song on the mountain.
Yeah.
Which they sing in front of the fireplace, but campfire works.
That's what
Tomato, tomato.
Potato, potato.
I was okay, so now we go where Gandalf is going to go battle the orcs.
You know what? I'm gonna mix.
Don't be stupid.
Okay. Not mixing.
Billy, don't be a hero. Don't make
That's
a
better.
fool of your life.
What are your thoughts on Gandalf entering Dol Guldur and lifting the enchantment? Is Dol Guldur 3 words, 2 words, or 3 words?
Dumbledore. What?
That's what I
It's
thought
3
you said.
syllables. Is it 2 words or 3 words? Because it was messing me up today.
Dumbledore.
Dol Guldur.
Dumbledore is 2 words.
Thank you. I wanted to make sure I put it in here correctly. I spelled it wrong, but I was like, it's 2 words.
You
It's
also
gotta be 2
misspelled
words.
Durin.
Shh.
Ah,
No,
Fuck
Durin
you.
stay. That's how they were spelling it on the subtitles, so that's what I went with.
Durin is spelled with an I.
so this is where he lifts the enchantment and sees all the orcs, right?
Yes. And he sees how big of an army that the necromancer is forming.
Well, I just want to paint this in a picture, a beautiful picture. Everybody, close your eyes. If that were me and I were Gandalf, I would have turned around. Okay, maybe not Gandalf because Gandalf's a badass. But okay, if it was me and that happened, hopefully I'm wearing my brown pants.
You wore the brown pants today.
Susie, you can laugh. It's fine.
No, because the comment that just went through my head was, you know what? I don't know if it was mean or not, but the
You're
only
gonna
thing
say it anyway.
I am so saying it anyway. The only thing I was picturing is, do you remember when Bomber, waiting for the
Gopher.
correction for the peanut gallery,
Gopher.
ran from the shapeshifter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That is what I'm picturing in my head right now with you running away from the orcs.
Oh, the fat guy being the fastest. Oh, wow. Look, it came in. Huh. It's brand new. Polish it off nice.
Oh man, I got one of those too.
Dear God, guys.
No, but the look on Gandalf's face when all that transpires is, oh, for the love of God. You send me here? The fuck, man?
I feel like he kind of knew what he was walking into.
To a
But he
certain
didn't know-
extent.
To an extent, but he didn't know like the how big of an extent until he was staring it in the face. And
Because
then he was trying to get to leave so that he could warn people. And yeah.
I think he exactly knew what he was getting into. But like what we just said, his face shows that he didn't know it was to that extent. Is this where we saw the Eye of Sauron for the first time?
Yes, it is. It is where
Yep.
we see the Eye of Sauron for the first time. What
That
did you
w-
think of the Eye of Sauron?
That's kind of creepy.
It is very creepy. I cannot wait to start Lord of the Rings with you.
Why are you so excited? And I'm very nervous.
No, Lord of the Rings is really good.
Which one's better?
It
Well,
is.
we'll get to that after the third one.
We'll get to that in the third one.
But yeah,
I wanna
that's
be
my.
there. I want to be there
that's
for him to see it.
Fuck you, bitch. But yeah, that's my thought about Gandalf crapping himself the minute he lifts the enchantment and oh dear God. Rob, what are your thoughts? Why am I still doing a fight?
I loved them. I loved that it was Gandalf being wizardry and just him shining light on the evils of the world, because the rest of the setting is pretty low magic. Everything else is basically enchantment work on magical items. Seeing the wizard get to be a wizard is awesome,
You're a wizard, Gandalf.
and especially that fight between him and the necromancer.
Susie, what the fuck are you doing?
It's like grimacing over there for some
They
reason.
changed the packaging on the quesadillas at Taco Bell. It was a struggle to get my quesadilla out, so I had to mute myself so it wasn't like covering Rob.
Hey, Will, please look at the camera. Doing a quick photo for our Facebook. You know. All right.
What,
Well,
man?
he kind of looks like a like the little dog looking over the bedstand. You know, at the two parents in bed. But continue, Rob.
Yeah, so I loved Gandalf being wizard and fighting him, and I love that scene of his staff just disintegrating
Yeah,
as Sauron's might finally shows itself.
that was nuts. That was
Oh.
100% freaking nuts.
I
'Cause
love.
I thought that I'm sorry, Susie. I thought that staff was completely like unbreakable.
Yeah.
Now you can go, Susie.
I said I was gonna say that part of my favorite part of that, like of that whole thing, is when he gets pinned up against the wall, and you actually get to put a name to this being. Because before this, we didn't have a name. Those
was
of us
just
who watched Lord of the
referred to as
Rings, we
the
knew exactly
evil.
who it was. But if you didn't watch Lord of the Rings, you had no name for what was happening right now.
And right now,
And he
AJ doesn't
literally
have
just goes,
context for
yeah,
who
he
Sauron
literally
is.
Well, I know who Sauron is just because I played Shadow of Mordor.
but like I feel like in these particular movies, you really don't need to have a context of who Sauron is. You just need to know that he was a bad guy from ages ago, which they really don't give a full context for anyway. But I think that was like my favorite part, is that they finally gave a name to it. Because I remember watching Lord of the Rings, and then I went through the Hobbits, and we got to this one, and I was like, wait, who's Sauron? I recognize the symbol, but I don't recognize the name. It wasn't until the third movie that I put all the pieces together. I want to talk about it. Will just left me.
Well, then we'll
Sure.
continue on.
After our dog.
I have the prophecy written out.
Why don't you read it once and then we'll talk about it?
Okay. The Lord of Silver Fountains, the King of Carven Stone, the King beneath the mountain shall come into his own, and the bells shall ring in gladness at the mountain king's return, but all shall fail in sadness, and the lake will shine and burn. Now,
That was a very
upon
poor
hearing,
reading.
huh?
It was a very poor reading. I didn't feel any excitement from that at all.
Uh-oh.
I'm so sorry, Rob.
I feel a
Damn.
disturbance in the force, and we're not even talking about Star Wars.
I see.
Rob and I can go back and forth for hours about Star Wars. Like, we're not doing that. But what, like, just hearing that prophecy, like, what were your initial thoughts? Because, like, for me hearing it, I thought there was going to be fire on the water.
I mean,
Mm,
not in this movie.
By the way, you have no idea how pissed I was. But we'll get to that. But
Oh, okay.
I loved how Bard was frantic searching for that tapestry, just going through all the names. Thorin. Why do I know a Thorin? I know a Thorin. Where do I know a Thorin from? And then he speaks the prophecy, and I love the gravity of the moment where he realizes what the full prophecy might mean.
But nobody else grasped it. And
No.
it,
One thing you did while we were watching this movie, I really appreciated. When I was like, what did they just say? You literally backtracked it so we could hear it again as they're going through that tapestry. And I'm like, I was able to pick apart that whole thing and understand who it was about. And I was like so excited.
I mean, that was one thing that I was making sure to do while we were watching the movie, is anytime you were like, wait, what just happened? I would backtrack. Or if I knew exactly what happened, I would sit there and tell you what happened.
Yeah.
So that you were ready for the next part.
No, you out of a lot of our friends, not trying to throw shade in a lot of our friends, but when it comes to watching a movie and me needing to under freaking stand the movie, you will literally pause it and be like, well, what did you not get, you idiot?
Don't phrase it like that.
How hard was it to understand that guy's the asshole?
How many times did I call Thranduil a bitch?
You didn't
One of
use
these things
bitch.
is not like the other. One
You
of
did
these
not use
things is a dick.
You did not use the bitch word. Don't even try to.
No, I didn't. But you know,
You used a 4-letter word that understands my mother.
So
And
does
ends with
anybody else
unt.
have anything to add about the prophecy?
No, but I like how it was kind of foretold, if that makes any sense, that a lot of this stuff is going to happen, kind of like throwing a little Easter egg on what the third movie is going to kind of have a little bit to do with it. Will, what about you? While I sneeze.
I liked it because you think, like, hearing the first part of the prophecy, you think, oh, everything's gonna be fine and dandy, and then they talk about lakes and burning, and I'm like, oh no, this is a no prophecy. This is a don't do that.
So when I first heard it, and the lakes are burning, and I know we're kind of really on this subject quite a bit, I'm like, okay, so they do piss off the dragon. Oh no. Somebody's gonna become barbecued. And I cannot wait to talk about the damn fucking dragon.
Oh my god, you have so many things to say about
Which
this.
is in a couple questions. Let's get there first. Why did I did not mean to try to do Little Nicky. Adam Sandler is not in this
Are
movie.
you okay? Are
Kick
you
him in his
okay?
heady balls.
I told you not to mix your liquor. Are you okay?
Oh, I didn't. But did you see how full this was when we started?
I unfortunately
No.
did not.
It was at the top right here. It comes in full there, but it was at the top right here.
Sir, you should probably stop.
Why? I still got a broadcast tonight. It's gonna make it even more better.
So the next question is the last light of Durin's day. Were your thoughts that it would be the sunlight or the moonlight? I mean, it says last lights of Durin's day, which would technically be the moonlight, but
Oh, is that
when
where they
you
find the
start-
key?
that's where you find the keyhole. Awkward
Rob,
silence.
you want to take it first, since you're the Lord of the Rings expert?
I had thought it was going to be the starlight, not the moonlight, because they were talking earlier with the elf. And I thought, oh, that was going to be foreshadowing for that, but then it was like the moon was shining. It's, oh,
I have a question.
it's a
for
little
you,
bit more obvious than that.
I have a question for you. Now thinking of that, did they read the map by starlight or moonlight?
Moonlight, the last moonlight in autumn.
The last light in autumn, essentially. They
Yeah,
did not read the map in the moonlight. No, they only read the map in the daylight.
Sorry,
No, it was a moon.
No, because
while they were with Red
I'm
Skull.
looking at, Red Skull, they did it at night. He read it at night in the moon or the
Yes,
starlight. That's what I'm asking. Was it moonlight or starlight?
it was moonlight.
Yeah,
But I'm asking what it was in the book.
Oh, I don't know about the book. Come on.
And there's a
I
reason
will
I'm
have to
asking this
page through
question.
this because I do not remember what I read 15 years ago.
You don't have to look it up right now, but it's a valid question. I don't know. I haven't read that far into the book. But the reason I'm asking is because you make a valid point that you thought it was starlight. Like I thought it was moonlight. I could see how it could be starlight, but now I'm curious with how the map was read. So anyway, continue on. Everybody else can, chime in and not make it awkward silence and have me talking the whole time, because that would just be lame.
You're still talking.
Are you gonna talk?
But shut up.
What?
He just
I
told
love
me
you,
to talk.
honey. Please don't murder me. Even though I just called you a bitch.
I will go grab my infinity gauntlet and snap your bloody ass away.
Yes, Daddy, please.
He just has to remember that I'm giving him a ride to work tomorrow.
Daddy
so.
Thanos.
Daddy Thanos, yes.
So back to Lord of the Rings. I'm reading the question again. What do you think about the Moonlight?
Well, Susie eats her 11sies.
What?
Is that what they're calling it nowadays?
You get that
I want-
quesadilla out your mouth right
Where
now
am
and
I
explain what you just said, woman.
So hobbits eat like all day, every day.
Okay, hence why you and Jessica are hobbits.
I don't know why Jessica's a hobbit because I mean I don't eat all day, every day. But anyway, there's breakfast, second breakfast, 11sies, luncheon, afternoon tea, dinner, and supper. I'm not quite at the supper point, so I guess you could call it supper.
Yeah, but you guys are munching all the time. Ooh, popcorn.
Munch, 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 clap, 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 munch, 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 clap, clap, clap.
Well, since we're back on the cliff with the key, because I think that's where we left off, right?
It is with an eye.
Being assaulted by
Sorry,
a puppy.
Durin.
I thought it was kind of cool, just for the fact of course, leave it to Bilbo, the burglar of the group, to find the little hole for the key.
He found a little hole, huh? He's staring at me like he wants to kill me.
All right, repositioning the mic to audio capability. Now everybody can hear me fine. What just happened is Susie made a stupid comment, funny stupid comment, and I just stared into the camera, as Will is, and now Rob is.
I found it.
On the page.
So I thought it was cool. The fact that Thorin heard Bilbo to come back, and that as he almost yeets the key off the freaking cliff, gotcha, bitch.
An accident.
And it is moon letters, by the way.
Okay.
So what's everybody else's thought about find the key, you're gonna need the key. Wow, that's a Haunted Mansion joke. Let's not talk about that shit.
Unless you're gonna let me play the PS2 game, no.
There's a PS2 Haunted Mansion game?
I'm concerned for you. Yes. Yes, there is.
All
It's very
I-
good.
All I remember is Disney Adventures and running through the Haunted Mansion. But Rob, what about putting the key in the hole had you aroused?
I watched the blooper of that scene, and he makes a big deal of putting it in, turning it, and then it fits. It stuck. Oh, there we go.
The fact that I said it the way I did, and Rob turns at the camera and just smiles.
Yeah,
I
so
like
it is
how
moonlit.
the door opens though. They because they push on it and it's really cool how it does like the effect it has.
It's a big ass door too.
Yeah. It's a thick ass door.
It's
Thick
a
with a
thick of
Q.
rock. Will, would you be able to find that key and put that hole in there?
Yes.
My
So
husband
wait,
is
you
all that's
worded
left of
that
my
wrong.
husband is his red hair.
Does the carpet
worded-
match the drapes?
Yes.
Why would you even ask that question?
Yeah, you're right. I've never mind. Let's not get into what happened on our honeymoon. Wait, let me rephrase that. I'm not married to Susie. I'm married to Jessica. But we went on a dual honeymoon together, and I saw parts of Will that I never thought I was going to see.
Oh,
Saw my
wait,
butt.
Oh, I saw your butt. Dude, you are white. You were like neon white. You could light up a dark room with that ass.
God, this just
Yeah,
okay.
I fucking mooned you. Get fucking wrecked, bitch.
Hey AJ,
Yeah.
can I have your thoughts on the murdering dragon?
Whenever you attack with this dragon and any other power you have, you get mana based on that. And he just annihilated a whole town. So he probably dropped another dragon and another dragon.
Hold on. So wait, what you're telling me is that Smog is cloth? Clouth? Smog is clouth?
Cloud,
Yes.
Smog, Cloud,
I ca-
Smog.
Yeah, but now I think about it, it's probably like Scourge of Velkus. Or Terror of the Peaks.
That was kind of my thought. not so much the Klaus, but George Balkus.
Yeah. But-
It's really a Tarka though.
But I love Smaug and the conversation, the monologues and the conversations back and forth with Bilbo. Benedict Cumberbatch just is a phenomenal. And if you've ever watched any behind the scenes, he's on like a little skateboard doing the whole walking around as Smog.
AJ, did you know that Benedict Cumberbatch voiced the Necromancer?
No.
Yeah.
No, I thought Benedict Cumberbatch was just Smog.
Nope, he also voices the Necromancer.
But he does a very good voice acting job, and they actually used motion capture for him as the dragon. And the raspy voice carries, like, obviously they probably auto-tuned it with a little more bass and like, but him just doing it alone has a lot of gravitas that you would expect a dragon to have. Did I say something intelligent for once in my life? Oh, she's saying no, never mind.
It was a comment you made. You know that raspy voice that he was using?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Star Trek Into Darkness? No.
No.
Okay.
Have I ever seen
Wait.
Star Trek? I think I
No.
saw the Generations one where they went to that sand place.
So Star Trek Into Darkness, Benedict Cumberbatch is the villain. And he does a voice similar to what he does in Smog.
He's a bad guy in a movie?
He's that guy in
Yeah.
a movie. It's actually really freaking cool. But that's what your comparison reminded me of is what he does in Into Darkness.
Theoretically, he's a bad guy in this movie, but you actually see him, I guess, in that movie.
Uh-huh.
You see a dragon in this movie. You don't really see him. It has no characteristics of him outside of the motion capture of him actually.
Anyone else have thoughts on Smog before AJ jumps off the deep end?
Dragon Senpai noticed me.
Dragon Sen might notice me.
I don't know if you want this dragon senpai to notice you.
I absolutely want him to notice me.
On today's menu, we have Will, freshly barbecued by Smog the dragon.
Yes.
First come, first serve.
I love
It's a Will
Smog's-
kebab.
I loved how much they were insulting Smog, but Smog, he shows himself to be extremely cunning and intelligent. The moment Bilbo mentions barrels, he immediately puts together, oh, it's the people in Lake Town and the elves.
He also can smell all of it. He smells Thorn. He smells them all, doesn't he?
He
Yeah,
does.
he's
He
No,
smells-
he just smells dwarf.
Oh.
No. He smells Lake Town. He says it. It's one of his lines.
Yeah, he
And
says
he
that,
also
but
smells Thorin. He says it.
He smells Thorin. What I think is really cool though is, and I get to it with the next kind of question thing. They mentioned that he's really cunning while they're trying to run away from him.
Yeah. And I love the my teeth are swords, my claws are spears line.
yo,
Love that
yeah.
line. It's like that is the quintessential villain right there.
And it's he has a way of delivering his lines that just it makes it hit harder.
No kidding. But that's what I'm saying. He either puts that bass in his own voice that you hear. I watched this last night before I went to bed, and I had surround sound headphones in. I literally had to do this because there's so much bass in Cumberbatch's voice with Smog.
So I have a question for you, AJ. Do you consider Smog to be a king? He calls himself a king. Do you consider himself to be a king?
If you go by King's rule, he took over that. Like he went in,
Yeah.
kicked them all out, and basically killed the king. So if you kill the king, don't you assume the king?
So he didn't actually kill the king. The king escaped.
You
So
talking about Thorin?
no,
the king.
Thorin's
the-
grandfather was king. He escaped.
Oh,
He didn't
Well, I
die
guess if
in
you
another
evicted the
fight.
king, I guess is what I'm going as. If you evict them forcefully and take their land, you now assume position as king, right? No, in Smog's eyes, I guess.
Well, I think
In
also in
Smog's
Smog
eyes,
Eyes,
yes. Do you consider him to be a king because of it?
That's a tough question, but
I
Yeah.
don't.
well,
I
the thing
in a
is,
way,
I'll let
Let
you
him
go,
go.
Susie. Oh, okay. Oh,
I don't care which one of us goes.
okay. I'm going.
One of us is
Shut
going
up.
out, both of us
Shut
at the same
up.
time.
If Smog isn't king, and they do what they do in the third movie, how does Thorin then become king?
It's his right.
But he hasn't had
They-
that family
they-
hasn't had that right in generations or
They
two
explain
generations.
it. He will gain the right if he has the Arkenstone.
And he never got it, I don't think.
Nope, he doesn't have the Arkenstone yet.
While Smog did have it for a long time.
Yes. I would define it as no, he's not a king because he has no subjects to rule.
But he didn't. You don't think he considered all that gold his subjects?
He considered it his possession. He does not.
Okay.
They are not entities which can obey his commands.
Okay, I can see where you're going with that.
That's kind of where I was gonna go with that, Rob. I mean, I
Mhm.
can agree that he is king under the mountain because he's in control of that whole domain. But that would be like the extent of it. It's just because he's in control of under the mountain because he's big mighty dragon. But that's it. There's no subjects that he's ruling. Yeah, he has the Arkenstone, but that's about it. That's all he's got going for him. I think if anybody had really put their mind to it, they could have defeated Smog a while ago.
I don't know about that one.
So, I don't know.
And
I
what did
feel
you
like-
think about him bringing Bilbo out of his invisibility?
That was wicked cool. Like the fact that he did that, and then it was like the way he handled Bilbo. I don't think Bilbo was expecting, and I think that you really see Bilbo's cunning during this.
You see his, and you also see how cunning and manipulative Smog is.
Yeah,
He's not just a flying death machine. He is an intelligent flying death machine, which makes him so much worse.
Indeed.
Yeah, I'll keep that comment to myself. That would get me in trouble.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we got in trouble over your comments.
I mean, you're right, but I'm in earshot. I'd rather live and hope she never listens to the episode.
Oh, okay.
And then moving on, we've got the ensuing fight against Smog with the dwarves.
My God, that was actually an ingenious fight.
Oh, it was
It-
phenomenal. And I really thought he was going to be encased in gold and it was going to harden up. And it didn't happen.
It would have had to extinguish his fire, and it didn't extinguish his fire.
I thought the plan was to drown him in the gold.
That's what I thought. He didn't swallow enough, though.
I
Like,
didn't think about him swallowing the gold. I thought it was just going to encase him to.
I don't think it would have, because like you have to think of how hot a dragon's fire is. So I don't know that it would have been like he probably could have, they always have like a fire in their bellies. Like I feel like he probably could have gotten out of it encasing.
Yeah.
But I think if he had swallowed it, it would totally have been a different story.
Can you
or
talk about,
inhaled it. Like drowned.
can you talk
Yeah.
about how mesmerizing he was to that gigantic gold statue
Yep.
and how he chased all those dwarves and out of nowhere I think all the sides off that gold statue just fell off and he's just
They
it
pulled
reminded
him
me of Abu when he sees the gold in in the
Oh, and the genie's lamp.
yes,
And the
In
Cave of
he's-
Wonders.
He wonders. Yeah. Damn it.
and then
Yeah.
all shit breaks loose. Wow, I've made a lot of Disney references this episode.
Yes.
What about Will? What did you think about that fight?
Smaug's gonna kill you all. Smaug's gonna kill. I rooted for Smaug the entire time. I did.
Does this really
disturbs my
surprise anyone?
slumber.
I'm not
No,
sorry
not
about it.
really. He does like barbecue.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
not
it is.
sorry
You know,
about
if
it.
they didn't kill Smog, they can work. He could have had him working at Polite Pig making barbecue.
Oh, what-
Polite Pig.
This isn't on the list, but what do you guys think of more of Erebor itself, its architecture, its design?
That's a lot of gold. Number one. Number two, that's a lot of green. And number three, that place is fucking huge in that mountain.
So I haven't read fully through The Hobbit, but different books that I've read where they have dwarf structures in the mountains and underground, I still wasn't expecting as magnificent as that was. But I was expecting something similar because I was hoping that, a lot of the dwarf lore that I've been reading from, the books that have come out recently were kind of based on what Tolkien had already developed.
Oh, speaking of
But
that,
it was still
speaking of Tolkien,
still like a marvel to behold.
I'm just saying it. People need to watch the newest South Park episode. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I was listening to that coming down the stairs with the doors closed, because my boss would have looked at me like I had four heads.
Well, you do have a forehead. I have a huge forehead.
Thought I was going to
It goes
hear
all the way
drums
down.
in the deep when you started tapping your head.
You made me take a drink.
You win this round, Rob.
AJ, you're required to go last for this.
Okay. I can continue doing what I'm doing then.
Okay, you're required to go last.
Yeah, I get to come
Smog's
last for once.
ending line: revenge, revenge. I will show you revenge. I am fire. I am death. And the reason I bring up this quote is because it's the ending line to Desolation of Smaug. What were your thoughts on this being the final line? Do you think we should have done the whole Smog, going to Lake Town, or was this a good place to cut off?
I hate that I
AJ
have to
has
go last.
so the other two have to
Fuck
jump in.
off.
All right.
A bit of column A and a bit of column B. Because I liked the cliffhanger ending, but it was also like a what the fuck?
I was in the movie theater when we watched this, and my first thought was, as it faded to black, I'm like, and then, no, we have Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, see, I like movies that have cliffhangers if I know they're getting another movie. But at the same time, if the movie's not coming out for a year, I hate them with a passion. I would have rather had the Lake Town scene than to leave off there. I mean, now I don't care because I can, pop the next movie on and just continue watching it. It doesn't interrupt my flow, but in a movie theater, it actually bothers me. AJ, would you like to take your turn now?
Yes. Okay, so I didn't have an issue with the cliffhanger. I had an issue where it cut off, if that makes sense. They show him flying towards the town. If he comes out of the mountain and does the spiral to get all the gold off, and he does that gigantic exhale that he actually does in the movie and says, "I'm free," or whatever he says. I thought it was "I'm free." Or
He was never
revenge.
trapped.
No. What was it? Revenge?
Revenge.
He says revenge once, and I'm gonna get really close to the camera, and I apologize for all the people looking at this. Just picture my face really close to the camera. Actually, don't picture my face. Picture a prettier face. I'm gonna get really close to the camera, but for the people watching this, you'll understand where I'm going with this. When he says revenge, and this is where it's gonna cut off. The minute he says it, he's like this close, and his eyes are like dead into the camera, and that's where it goes blank. All he says is revenge, and that's it. And then the third movie picks up right from there as Denny's flying towards the town.
I mean, that would have been one way to do it. I like the fact that they continue with the whole I am death. Rather than just ending it with revenge.
But that's kind of what I would have done with it. I thought the scene was badass, but I'm happy we started the movie legit right when this finished, because I would have been pissed if it was like, all right, AJ, get the fuck out of here.
No, we were in the middle of doing something. You had to watch the next movie.
What were we doing? Playing Magic?
Yeah, we were.
Nisa forgot.
Okay. So that leads to, what was your favorite fight in this movie? We all know what mine is. Mine's the barrels. So that's no contention. Contested?
I don't know.
Some word that starts with a
Contest.
C.
I don't
Thank
know
you.
if mine consists of a fight. It's when Gandalf lifts that enchantment with
Yes,
the
yours
orcs.
consists of a fight. Because
Okay.
he doesn't just fight the orcs, he also fights the necromancer.
I like that very much. Just for the acting of Ian McKellen alone, when he's on screen and you don't have any of the dwarves and he's got no help with him, his acting alone against other forces was pretty badass there.
I've
Kind of
always
on
been-
the scale of Rafiki fighting the hyenas.
Oh yeah, no, I always love Ian McKellen's acting. Will, favorite fight?
Versus Smaug.
With Smog being the winner, I know.
Yes. Round one went to Smaug.
But there was only 2 rounds.
Exactly.
It's a tie, but they can't have a third
Exactly.
round.
Exactly.
Technically, there was 3 rounds with Smog.
So he win, he lose.
Yes. The losing one was the important one. Rob, what about you?
Well, when you take a spirit to the
I
chest-
like the two. I like Legolas and the Sylvan Captain in the Lake Town fight.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty badass one.
Legolas, but my legs are right here.
And the fact that Legolas didn't
Lieutenant
win,
Dan.
the commander that got away.
Yeah. Yeah, that like it bothered me a little bit, but at the same time, it shows that Legolas is not as experienced as he could have been. Like it really
Yeah.
kind of shows how sheltered the Wood Elves are. What was your favorite scene? I honestly think my favorite scene is Turiel healing Keely.
That was intense.
Yeah.
That was like intense in a good way. It's not my favorite scene, but I do enjoy it. That's happy you actually spit out their names. I'm just gonna go with her real name here. Evangeline Lilly kind of shows that. All right, well, you guys all hate the dwarves. I like this one. This one I like. He is going to live.
Well, part of it is she didn't understand why they were forsaking the outside world. And to be honest, I didn't understand why they were forsaking the outside world either. So there was that. But was that your favorite scene or?
No, my
was your favorite-
favorite scene was the conversation Smog and Bilbo were having for that long period of time, where each one is out trying to outsmart each other. Bilbo pretty much being like, "You're tyrannical, you're grace, you're great. You know, don't turn me into a barbecued hobbit. You think flattery will keep you alive? Why did I turn it into Bane?
Why did you
Just don't ask questions.
wrong universe? That actor is not even in these movies.
He would have made a great Hobbit.
He would have, but that's
Shut up. You understand where I was going. My brain understood what I was going. My mouth and impression did not.
okay. As long as we're all on the same wavelength here.
Yeah.
Will, what was your favorite scene?
My favorite scene was the Bilbo talking with Smaug. I liked the little battle of wits they tried with each other.
I mean, yeah, that's actually really good. It really shows how far Bilbo's come in the last like month. Rob, what about you?
I have technically two scenes. The first one isn't really a scene. It was Thorin holding the sword against Bilbo. Like, how dare you be here and not down there looking for the Arkenstone?
Oh yeah.
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 The sleight of hand.
That's it.
And my
Luckily-
favorite scene is them first entering the mountain. I know these halls, I know this stone. And them
Okay.
all just having that moment of reflection that they've made it this far.
Can we talk about the old white guy's face? Okay, his acting capability, he was crying during that scene.
The greatest weakness I have is sad old man face. I cannot hold it together when I see sad old man face.
Like, he was crying entering those halls. And that hit me in way more feelings than I ever thought possible. And I never seen tears in his eyes until we were watching it with AJ the other night. And I was like, oh my God, this man is crying. Like, what?
Holy shit, we're almost done.
Yeah.
This sucks. I can go for another 2 hours.
Of course you can.
Well, we can't, but besides the point.
Okay, so out of these two movies, and I'm only doing it out of these two movies, which one did you like better? This one or Unexpected Journey?
I shall go
This
last
one.
again.
This one.
I was like, I don't know which one of the two bottom ones answered.
Both of us.
Well, me and
You
you were
both
on
said
the
this
bottom
one?
one, Susie.
This one. This
Okay.
one.
Yeah, for me, it's this one. Though this one, I don't understand it. If I watch it with people, I can watch the whole movie. But if I watch it by myself, I have to skip the start of the forest all the way till they get to the wood realm. And I have to skip some of Smog's scene. And I don't understand why. Because I'm fine watching it when there's people in my house. The minute I'm watching it by myself, nope. Mm-mm.
So I'm
Can't do it.
weird, and I know I'm weird, and everybody's gonna have the different opinion. I enjoyed the first one better.
That's fine.
Mostly because yes, Bilbo has his shining moments in this movie, but I feel like he has a lot more in the first movie when he really levels up against those big ass wolf things. When he first finds the ring, when he has the confrontation against Gollum. I feel like he did a lot more within that first movie than he did in this movie, even though they're probably pretty close together. And I really enjoy Bilbo as a character, and that's kind of what I based what I liked better.
Bilbo is the main character, so it's fair that you actually, base it on him. Because even though the story is about Thorin and his band of dwarves, we're following Bilbo's story. So
Yeah.
it makes
It
sense.
is the Hobbit, not the
As he holds
Dwarves.
up the Hobbit. So it makes sense that you would follow Bilbo's story. And I tend to agree with you that Bilbo had more of an arc in the first one. But I'm gonna wait to say everything about Bilbo until we discuss the third one.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
There's a lot more to unpack there, and I
But
feel
you
like
only asked about the first two movies. That will
I only
completely change the minute we talk about the third movie. So
that's kind of, yeah. So like I agree with you. Like it totally, if you're just looking at these two movies, definitely, and you're just looking kind of like Bilbo, definitely Unexpected Journey. But
I swear I did not snap your husband away.
no, it was probably my dog.
This dog's gonna start going into crates when we do podcasts.
Uh-oh.
I mean, that's fair.
No, he's a Meriden.
But I had a question, so unless you guys have stuff to add, we're pretty.
Nah, we covered it.
I mean, do you want to ask the question we always ask? Who is your favorite character within this movie?
I didn't feel like that was a fair question.
I thought we covered that.
No.
We didn't. So I didn't think that was a fair question for this movie because the next movie picks up where this one ended. So like I feel like the way my brain works is that this is part 1 and Battle of Five Armies is part 2.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which,
I
to
didn't
be
even
fair,
think-
if you look at it from the book's perspective, we've got this much left of the book.
yeah. They covered a huge chunk in Desolation of Smaug. I'm like impressed.
They've got this much left of a book to make a movie out of.
Mm-hmm.
They manage it.
Well,
Yeah.
the third
But they
third movie
made-
is pure chaos.
They made 3 movies out of this book. How many more movies could they have made out of this book?
I mean, they probably could have made like 6 movies out of that book, 2 movies for each book, but
They basically did if you watch the extended editions.
yeah, they did. I like the extended editions. So it's up to you guys. If you want to do your favorite characters, you're more than welcome to. I just, like I said, my brain doesn't separate the 2 movies, even though they're separated.
I mean, my favorite character so far is Bilbo, but I did like seeing the dip into madness Thorin had.
I mean, if
This-
I had to
The
pick one,
slowly dip into madness that he had.
if I had to pick a favorite character, it'd be Tariel.
Okay. Yeah,
But
she's kind of
definitely-
hot for an elf.
Well, it's her attitude. She's different from the rest of the Wood Elves, and you immediately see that she's different. So, I mean, I like her attitude.
Anybody else
Anyone
want to
else?
jump in on that before we close her up?
My favorite character was actually Thranduil. I love the Elf King. He gets so little screen time, but damn if he doesn't command the screen during that time.
He gets a lot in the third movie.
Yeah,
I like him better in the third movie, but definitely like he commands, like every time he's on the screen, he commands a presence, and I do really enjoy that. Even in the first movie, when we see that glimpse of him, he commanded the screen, like the way he held himself and regal and everything else.
I think it's a lot has to do with the posture he has and him just being.
Yeah, it's the way he portrays himself, and it's really cool to see.
the thing is, with every other elf I've seen, he is the most elf I have seen.
Okay.
He lives up to the stereotype, checkmarking every damn box.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I think of elf, I'm not thinking of Legolas or
You're thinking of Will Ferrell?
Elf. I'm thinking freaking Thranduil.
Yeah, I'm thinking Red Skull.
I'm sorry, I made a bad joke.
But that also has to do with, like, I read so many fantasy books that when I read books about elves, like, actually one of my favorite books has a elf like Thranduil, who actually is the villain in my book, but that's beside the point.
Well, he's still a dick, so there you
But
go.
no, he's literally like Thranduil. He wants to lock his people away, not deal with society and everything else, and it doesn't ever end well. And I think that's part of my bias towards him in this movie.
I mean, how many of us just wanted to say, man, just fuck the world, shut the door, lock it, let's not acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Every day this week.
Every day of the last, I can't say that. I am married to a wonderful person, but pretty much every day of the last like 10 years.
Yeah. And
I
this
can- I can
this guy
pinpoint
will
the
live
day.
for 10,000 years.
Yeah.
In his mind, the world's always endured as it has.
So, I think we should start closing her up, everybody.
Let's do it.
Will, where can people find your sexy white neon ass?
I'm trying to complete my Pokedex so I can fight God.
I mean, you don't have to complete a Pokedex. to
I
fight
will
Paul.
fight God.
Wrong God.
I know what God he's talking about. He's talking about Arceus. Speaking of Arceus, stay tuned to. Something happened. Oh, Rob got rid of his background. Stay tuned to our Facebook page, where most likely Will and I and maybe one or two other people will be talking about Pokemon Legends Arceus and how we think it is and our adventures getting through it. So stay tuned with that.
I don't wanna
Rob,
talk.
where can people find? Shut the fuck up, Susie. Rob, where can people find you?
Y'all can find me on Space Battles as Retro Warrior.
That fucked with my eyes.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
There's no real good way to
I'm
put a
never
phone on the
okay.
screen.
Yeah,
I
check-
wasn't talking to you, redhead. Rob, are you
I'm not
okay?
done.
What beeped?
I don't know what beeped.
That was me. I was
Oh,
trying
okay.
to get in. I do a bunch of fantasy writings, and one thing I've written is actually a Battle of Five Armies-esque story,
Oh, that's dope.
where instead of whatever the hell happens in the next movie, I have 4 evil armies going against 1 good army.
Uh-oh.
Ow.
So
Like,
if-
Scoob, I think we're gonna get shit kicked in.
If you're at all interested in reading strange fan fiction, my phone just froze.
Damn it, Elsa.
You can go on to spacebattles.com, it's a forum, and just look up a series of souls under the Warhammer. And Retro Warrior will have a shit ton of stuff written on that.
Yeah, you do that a lot, and you have a lot of good stuff. I can't remember which one you sent me. Haven't really gotten to it yet, but you have a lot of stuff on there.
And I've just started writing my next section of it called The Vermintide. For those of anyone wondering, the world it's set in is Warhammer Fantasy, which is like Lord of the Rings if it was set in our world and made just dark.
Susie, where can
I'm
people
dark
find the
colored.
bestest co-host in the world?
Annoying you.
That's not fair. Stop laughing. I can see you laughing. I'm looking at the camera, but I can see your head go. Let's try
Uh,
this again.
no.
Where can people find you?
In Philadelphia.
Born and raised?
No.
Maxing and relaxing.
West Philadelphia, born and
Thank you,
raised.
Will.
I don't remember the words, so I'm butchering this.
Your
But
wife is going to come
Friends
upstairs and
with-
teach you the words. It's
Fresh
fine.
Prince of Bel Air was
Oh.
a really good show.
No,
And
My-
Jazzy Jeff.
well, by the time you listen to this, I've already been to Philadelphia and back. But my beautiful husband got me tickets to go to a Harry Potter exhibit at the Franklin Institute in Philadelphia on Saturday. So
Because I'm fucking cool.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Well, for me, because usually Susie throws it to me, where can AJ? Fine, I'll do my Susie impression. Everybody, give me a sec. AJ, where can
AJ,
people
where can
find you?
people find you?
Wow, AJ, you really sounded a lot like Susie there. Oh, it's pretty
Man,
good. You know,
you
great
punch
job.
yourself in the dick to do that?
Ow, my penis.
Sounds like you missed.
Rob Paulson, take it away.
Hey, you guys, this is 625 here from Lilo and Stitch. Some people think of me as AJ Coppola. I don't care. Just follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, Twitch at NDTA Jalistar15, and Xbox and PSN at AJ All-Star 15. I should have said AJ All-Star, but I'm a sandwich maker. What the hell do I know? Do yourself a favor. Go get yourself a hot fudge marshmallow tuna fish and ham sandwich. All right? Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
Hey guys, it's me, Experiment 625, making a motherfucking sandwich.
Sounds like
Oh
you
my
missed.
goodness.
AJ, in
Ruben!
this place, in
His
this
name is
place.
Ruben!
All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you for dealing with all our shenanigans here tonight. But this was our Hobbit 2 episode, The Desolation of Smaug. Or is it just called The Hobbit Desolation of Smaug? There's no 2 at the end of it.
There's no
No,
two.
yeah, it's just the Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, everybody, for dealing with our shit tonight. Check us out next week when we talk about the third Hobbit movie, The Hobbit Battle of the Five Armies.
Yep. Battle
Yeah.
of 5 armies.
Wow, I've done good with names tonight.
You have been very good.
Pat on the head, pat on the head. Rob, that was too many. Stop, bad boy. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Sorry.
Hasn't Our positions yet, so we're doing pretty good.
What about assuming the position?
I said alternated the position.
Assume
Oh.
the position.
Okay, I'll assume that. All right, peace out, everybody. Before this gets into Nerds After Dark, which that actually sounds kind of.
We were already in Nerds After Dark. I don't know where the fuck you were.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.